So I watched that movie Atlas on Netflix. Now let me say this. I've talked about it in my past videos. Netflix is they're very hit or miss. They tend to be more miss. And I will also say this. I'm not the biggest Jennifer Lopez fan when it comes to her as an actress. I think like she's not bad. I just don't think she's like done anything where I've been like, oh man, I love that movie, or I found it to be like fantastic in anything. Like her best performance is probably this Leon movie. Was I like that movie, but it's not like a movie I'm in love with. But like she hasn't really done anything, and I feel the same way I do in this movie. Where she's fine in this movie, her performance is just very kind of forgettable to me, like she is in all the movies. And this is like another movie host that I can't say I loved. Like the story is just very generic. It takes a while to get going. I mean, there's some cute moments at the end when it comes to Ho in the mech suit, but they spent a lot of time trying to hook you at the bottom with the mech suit because of this whole story is that she had a robot as a kid. I'm gonna spoil some stuff, so if you haven't watched the movie, stop the video now. But it has the guy who plays Shang-Chi playing the villain in this, and then he kills her mom, and the whole plot is that he's basically destroying humanity because he thinks humanity's going to destroy himself. So he's a bad guy in this. They don't give him really anything to do. And like I said, the story's just very generic. It's very just it's slow. And like I said, there's some cute moments at the end with Jennifer Lopez and the mech suit character, which she calls him Smith, I believe, in the movie. But it's just like the story's generic. It's not very exciting. The story, it's a story you've seen done a million times. I've seen it done way better. The characters aren't really all that interesting or compelling. I didn't really care much for Jennifer Lopez character in this, and for me, she gives a very flat performance, like she always does in most of her movies. Where I don't personally feel like I ever get anything out of her in her movies. She's just kind of always okay, not terrible, but just kind of like forgettable when it comes to her performance. The accent didn't really stand out to me either. And this just feels like another terrible, generic Netflix movie. And the way it looks too, the way it's shot, like not shot, excuse me, the way it looks visually, it just looks kind of like, I don't know, looks kind of boring to me, the movie. When it comes to like it just looks like another generic Netflix movie with the visual cinematography and all that. So it just to me, I didn't care for the character. The story I thought was like a story we've seen done a million times. They don't give anything to do with the Shang-Chi actor. Like he plays a bad guy in this. And his whole thing of like destroying humanity because they destroy themselves, I've seen that plot a million times about AI. Like this movie doesn't cover anything new. It doesn't really do anything. And I'm all for like movies with mech suits. Like, I love the first Pacific Rim, even though that's obviously an over top movie and but I love that movie. One of my favorite movies is As of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise movie, where they're sort of wearing like an armored suit thing. But like it's just this movie doesn't really do anything new. It's another crappy Netflix movie, and I would definitely not recommend checking this out. Like this to me is another miss by Netflix, and this movie again doesn't really do anything for me when it comes to Jennifer Lopez. She's just to me she's just a very mediocre actress. And the other actors in this movie don't really get anything to do either. The characters are just very like to me uninteresting, and the story's just not very compelling. Like the only positive I have about the movie is that there's some cute moments at the end with her and the mech robot called Smith, but it like for most of the movie it's just her bonding with the mech robot Smith, and I just never really got invested in it personally. And like I said, the story's just so generic. It doesn't really do anything new that I haven't seen done in a million movies done better. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend Atlas. That's my thoughts on Atlas. Until next time, movie fans.